When you look at these people, which one catches your attention? Do you choose the one who reminds you of yourself, or the one you don't understand? Have you ever wondered how your choices might reveal something about who you truly are? When you observe someone, it's not just about what you see, but also about what lies within you. Your reactions, the energy you bring to relationships, and even the people you choose to keep close say more about you than you might think. Today, I invite you to choose one of the 5 people who will appear on the screen in a few moments. Each of them represents a Jungian archetype, a profound aspect of your psyche. The person you choose will reveal something important about how you perceive yourself and what energy you carry within. But remember, your choice is not random. What draws you in goes beyond the superficial. Each of these people is a different facet of your personality that, in some way, influences your life, your decisions, and your sense of security. The first person you see is the seeker. They wear simple, everyday clothes, with a subtle but clear hint that they are not tied to a single path. In their hands, they hold a map or a compass, symbols of a constant search. Their posture is slightly leaning forward, as if ready to take the next step, full of curiosity and a desire to discover. Their face expresses a mix of curiosity and uncertainty, but also determination. Their eyes are full of questions, seeking answers in a world brimming with mysteries. You are a seeker of answers, always trying to understand your place in the world. Your energy is filled with restlessness, ready to uncover new things. The seeker is the archetype of the traveler who constantly searches for meaning, purpose, and answers to the questions that trouble them. They are someone who feels the world has something to offer that they have yet to discover. They are someone who never feels entirely at home, always on the move, always searching for something. You often feel that you don't fit into the conventional structures of life, so your journey has no end. The seeker is by nature fascinated by the unknown and searches relentlessly, asking questions others might consider unnecessary. They are the one who does not fear confronting their doubts, trying to understand their place in this complex world. For the seeker, the path is as important as the destination. They often move through life somewhat lost, but it is precisely in that wandering that they find their strength. The seeker knows that answers don't come easily, and that each step toward the unknown is part of their inner journey toward discovering the truth about themselves. Why might this archetype attract you? If you chose the seeker, it's possible that you feel an inner longing for something more. Perhaps you sense that your life is not yet complete, that you haven't yet discovered your true purpose. You are someone who isn't afraid to ask questions, to doubt and to experiment, hoping to find answers that will help you fully understand your role in the world. Your energy is full of restlessness because you know life is filled with mysteries waiting to be uncovered. However, the seeker also faces challenges. They often confront a sense of uncertainty and instability, as they never stay in one place for long. Their mind is filled with questions that can lead them to the infinite. They may feel disappointed when answers don't come as quickly as they'd like, and they may not always know how to find a balance between the freedom they seek and the need for stability. The person you see now is the defender, dressed in armor or elegant but practical protective clothing. They seem like someone ready to defend not only themselves, but also others. Their posture is firm and confident, as if they are constantly vigilant about the safety of their space and the people they love. In their eyes, you can see a deep respect for the values they protect, whether it's family, friends, or ideals that are very important to them. Their movements are organized, deliberate, and their energy is focused on ensuring order and harmony around them. The defender is an archetype that protects what they value most. They are the guardian of values, order, and stability. This person often plays the role of a caretaker in their environment, whether with loved ones, in an organization, or even in a broader community. At their core, there is a deep need to care for and protect, which often hides a more sensitive and delicate side of their personality. The defender is someone who seeks control. For them, the sense of security doesn't come from what's outside, but from the inner certainty that everything is in good hands, their own. They are someone who doesn't allow themselves to be easily hurt. They often build a wall around themselves to protect what they value most: their emotions, their desires, and above all, themselves. They may not always allow themselves to show their weaknesses, as their strength comes precisely from the protection they offer to the world. However, the defender is not just a cold guardian. Their energy is full of care, though expressed in a more organized manner. Their mission is to look after others, but often at the expense of their own needs. For this reason, the defender can sometimes feel exhausted or overwhelmed by the responsibility they take on. Their life is often tied to assuming responsibilities, which leads them to forget themselves, especially their sensitivity and the emotions they hide deep within. Internally, the defender may struggle with the fear of losing control, of anything that could threaten the order of their world. They often feel that their role is not only necessary but a mission, and while their strength is invaluable, they simultaneously grapple with internal doubts about whether they truly deserve a rest, a break. Thus, they often suppress their own needs, focusing on not letting down those who depend on them. Why might this archetype attract you? If you chose the defender, it's possible that you feel your strength comes from your role as a protector, as someone who cares for others. Your energy is full of responsibility and the sense that you are someone others can rely on. You are a person who conveys security, but at the same time, you don't always allow yourself to show your weaknesses. Perhaps you tend to hide your sensitivity because you feel your strength must be evident to protect those around you. But the defender must also remember that their well-being is equally important. It may happen that their need for control and protection leads them to neglect their own emotional needs. Reflect on whether you sometimes feel overwhelmed by the role you take on, and whether you need space to care for yourself. As a defender, your strength lies in your ability to protect. But true strength emerges when you also learn to protect yourself. The third person you see is the rebel. They wear clothes that stand out from afar due to their unconventional style. It might be a leather jacket, wrinkled jeans, or striking accessories that draw attention. Their posture is resolute, and their eyes are full of fire, brimming with passion, ready to challenge the norms and systems that govern the world. The rebel doesn't fear being different, doesn't fear living by their own rules, even if it means going against others' expectations. For the rebel, life is a constant struggle for authenticity. They always want to stay true to themselves, even if it means breaking conventions, shattering the rules that supposedly govern society. They are a person who enters a room with confidence, even if they're not always warmly received. In their heart, there's no room for compromise. For them, truth is the most important thing, and the fight for it gives meaning to their existence. The rebel doesn't seek to please others. They act according to their inner voice, which guides them toward liberation. Their energy is full of restlessness and defiance. They often oppose not only external systems but also themselves, as they constantly question their motivations, desires, and place in the world. The rebel's life is not easy. It's full of challenges, difficult choices, and controversial decisions. They often find themselves on the edge, balancing between what is right and what is unacceptable to society. And while their choices may seem risky, deep in their soul, the rebel knows that true freedom begins where conformity ends. The rebel has a kind of untamed energy that propels them forward, even when they don't have a clear path. Their life is full of challenges, but also opportunities, because they are the ones who set their own rules. Their passion is unshakable. Their convictions are firm, However, this strength also brings loneliness, as the rebel often struggles to find easy understanding from others. Their path is solitary, but that makes it all the more authentic. Why might this archetype attract you? If you chose the rebel, it's possible that you feel a strong need to express yourself in a way that goes beyond what society expects. Perhaps you feel that you don't fit into the norms imposed by others, and that true freedom lies in rejecting those rules. Your energy is full of defiance, but also passion for change and for creating something new. The rebel is someone who doesn't fear opposition, doesn't fear being misunderstood. It's in that opposition that they find their identity and strength. However, being a rebel also comes with challenges. Your internal disagreement with external structures can lead you to feel isolated and out of place. You may feel lonely, and your quest for freedom can sometimes deprive you of a sense of belonging to a group. Reflect on whether you sometimes lack balance between freedom and relationships with others. Does your disagreement with the system sometimes make you forget what's important for building connections? The rebel must find a way not only to fight against the system, but also to cultivate their inner connections, which can be the foundation of true freedom. The fourth person you see is the healer, dressed in delicate, natural fabrics in earthy tones, as if in complete harmony with nature. Their posture exudes tranquility, warmth, and a readiness to help. In their hands, they hold something that could be a symbol of healing, such as a crystal, an herb, or a talisman. Their face is full of gentleness and empathy, and their gaze is understanding, as if they could see others' pain and suffering without judging, instead offering them a space to heal. The healer is an archetype tied to the energy of care and attention. The person who chooses this character may feel that their mission is to help others, not just physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. The healer draws their strength from the inner harmony they can create around them, helping people overcome difficulties, pain, and fear. They are someone who often finds solace in nature, silence, and moments of solitude, where they can recharge their inner batteries and restore balance. Their energy is full of compassion, understanding, and gentleness, but it's not an energy of weakness. The healer possesses an extraordinary power, a power that comes from their capacity for empathy and deep listening. They often become someone others trust, someone who helps them in times of crisis. However, this need to help can sometimes lead them to neglect their own needs. The healer may be so focused on healing others that they forget themselves, their body, their emotions, and their inner world. The healer is someone capable of pulling others out of difficult moments. Their presence is soothing, their words reassuring, and their touch gentle. In their presence, others feel safe, as if they can open their hearts and feel completely secure. Despite their power, the healer doesn't want to be seen as someone above others. On the contrary, their energy is full of humility and gratitude for the gift they can offer to others. However, the healer is not free from their own struggles. Their work of healing and supporting others can sometimes cause them to forget themselves and their inner wounds. When they become too burdened with others' energy, they may start to feel exhausted. Their mission to help others can distance them from their own need for healing. The healer must remember that their power is only potent when they are in harmony with themselves. Why might this archetype attract you? If you chose the healer, it's possible that you feel an inner need to help others, to offer them comfort and support. Your energy is full of compassion and tenderness, and it's precisely these qualities that draw you to this character. Perhaps you feel you know how to help others overcome their suffering, but at the same time you wonder who will help you when you need it. The healer is someone who doesn't fear diving into difficult situations to help others. But are you capable of caring for yourself when you feel exhausted? This is the healer's challenge, finding balance between giving and receiving, between helping others and tending to their own inner needs. The last person you see is the leader, They wear elegant, formal clothing that conveys confidence and authority. Their posture is upright with a clear attitude that says, "I am ready to lead." In their eyes, you can see determination, but also the sense of responsibility weighing on their shoulders. Their gaze is confident but filled with concern. The leader is not just someone who gives orders, but someone who cares about the well-being of others, even if their role is to lead and make tough decisions. They may hold something symbolic in their hands, like documents, a map, or a key, suggesting their role in guiding the group. The leader is the archetype of a person capable of taking on responsibilities and guiding others forward. They are someone who not only knows what to do, but also has the ability to inspire and motivate others to follow them. Their energy is full of power, confidence, and influence, which makes others look at them with respect and trust. A leader is someone who doesn't fear challenges and is capable of making decisions in difficult moments when others seek answers. However, the leader also carries a great responsibility. Their life is often filled with pressure because they know others rely on their decisions, their strength. While they may seem confident on the outside, inside they can feel alone, knowing there's no one they can fully trust. The responsibility rests on their shoulders, and sometimes there's no one to make decisions for them or to ease the burden of leadership. Although the leader attracts attention and respect, their role can lead to isolation and the feeling that there's no room for weakness. The leader is not someone who avoids difficulties, but someone who faces them with full awareness. They are capable of staying true to their convictions and pursuing their goals, but they also feel a great responsibility toward others. Sometimes their energy is so focused on achieving their goal that they may forget their own emotional needs. As a leader, they may also struggle to balance power and relationships, because while they are strong, their personal relationships can be affected by their increasingly prominent role in the external world. Why might this archetype attract you? If you chose the leader, it's possible that you feel you have a natural ability to lead, inspire others, and make decisions that can change people's lives. Your energy is full of power and influence, and you often feel that others look to you with expectations. Being a leader can give you a sense of fulfillment, but at the same time, it can bring a feeling of loneliness, as you are the center of attention, but don't always have someone who understands you. A leader can feel alone because their mission of leadership doesn't always allow them to fully connect with others. A great responsibility often falls on their shoulders, which can be overwhelming. Reflect on whether you feel this weight on your shoulders. Perhaps it's time to start sharing the responsibility and realize that true strength lies not only in leading, but also in the ability to seek support and create a space for yourself where you can simply be you. Now that you know which archetype dominated your choice, it's worth asking yourself, what does this say about you? What aspects of your psyche lead you to make certain choices and not others? What guides you in your daily life? What inner traits do you have that can shape your life, your relationships, and your decisions? Perhaps your choice reveals something you hadn't noticed before. Maybe you realize that you often act like a seeker, always searching for answers and meaning. Or like a defender, always ready to protect others. Perhaps you're like a rebel, breaking free from imposed norms in search of authenticity. Or like a healer, who cares so much for others that they forget themselves. Or maybe there's something in your leader energy, facing challenges with determination, attracting attention and responsibility. Each of these archetypes is a part of you. They are just some of the great forces that influence your decisions, your perception of yourself, and your actions. Choosing one of these characters is not the end of the journey, but the beginning of a deeper reflection. Think now about what you can do to better understand how your dominant archetype influences your life. What changes do you want to make to be more aware of your energy? Perhaps you want to work on balancing your role as a leader so you don't forget your emotional needs, or learn to balance freedom and responsibility as a rebel. Or maybe it's time to start seeing and nurturing those aspects of yourself hidden deep within, like the seeker. Remember, your energy is powerful, but only if you accept and understand it consciously. We all have these archetypes within us, and their harmonious combination can lead to a fuller, more conscious life. Prepare to discover what still lies hidden within you. Your search has just begun.